Yo, yo, yo. Welcome back. This league, JD, you, me, us together, talking NBA. Except you're just not really talking, listening, and I'm talking. So, God bless you for listening to my voice and my opinion. We've got the Southwest Conference, or Division, Southwest Division preview, NBA preview. 24-25 season kicks off in 4 days, 5 days, 4 days. And it's fucking up, baby. I cannot wait. I've been doing these division previews to start. If you like this one, go back and look at the other ones. I think I have one more to record after this, but these have been a lot of fun getting to know or just getting my thoughts out on these teams, letting you guys know what I think. And I think my last video got 2 views, so guys, plural, that counts. But yeah, we're on the fucking grind trying to get hired by the Stool. Shout out Dave, shout out Big Cat, shout out those boys. Love you guys. We need some more NBA talk on that shit, and I'm the guy. And so, yeah, with that being said, let's motherfucking get into it. The Dallas Mavericks is where we're going to start. Finished first in the division, 50-32 record, 5th in the West. NBA Finals runner-ups. They made it. Luka got there. This year, they add Klay Thompson, Najee Marshall, Quentin Grimes, Spencer Dinwiddie. They lose Derrick Jones Jr., who was huge in their championship run, the playoff run last year. Josh Green, another big piece. Hardaway, who had an off year, but in the past has played well for them. So the first thought is Klay, will he make or break this team? This team's chances this year. Can he replace Hardaway? Yes. What about, the other guys that they picked up? Sorry. I was just trying to read what I fucking wrote, and I don't make any sense. So, let me just stop reading and talk. I originally thought Klay Thompson was going to make or break this team, but I don't really think so, because you expect or you hope that Klay gets back to fucking making a lot of threes and helping him win, but he hasn't looked like that the last couple of years. And so you're like, well, if he doesn't look like that, maybe they don't have a chance. But hold your motherfucking horses. They're replacing Derrick Jones and Josh Green with Quentin Grimes, Dinwiddie, Najee Marshall. Klay Thompson, as much as you think his expectations need to be, they really don't need to be that high. Tim Hardaway Jr. didn't do dick for them in that playoff run, and they made it to the finals. So, if Klay Thompson can play a little better than Tim Hardaway, then I think they're straight, because they're bringing back Luka, Kyrie, PJ, Gafford / Lively in the as their starters, but we're talking about replacing Derrick Jones Jr. and Josh Green. And Derrick Jones Jr., not to discredit him, he was great, but I think that they picked up the right pieces to kind of make up for it. Dinwiddie has been around Luka, knows how to play around Luka, can provide some scoring. Najee Marshall is kind of that dog that they need. Josh Green kind of played that role last year as far as a super duper hustle guy. And Quentin Grimes is just a young 3-and-D guy who is not going to disappoint you, really. I think his floor is pretty high as far in the role player category. So there's all this. The only thing that can stop Klay Thompson, I think, is Klay Thompson. They did give him some cash. They did give him some moolah, but if Klay Thompson can kind of say, hey, this isn't on me, let me just play freely and plays freely, then I think that he can, that is his best chance at helping this team. what else? Luka. Okay. He's Jokic. He's LeBron. He's that type of player who, if he's on your team, you have a chance to go to the finals. And that's that. So all of this other breakdown shit for them is just really small talk, because with all of these previews, all the good teams, I'm approaching this as by if they have a chance at a championship. And do the Mavs have a chance at a championship? Yes. Why? Luka. Despite any additions or subtractions from the roster, this guy will take you to the finals. And if we're being honest, they didn't take a step back for sure. If anything, the guys that they brought in can match the production or elevate the production of those guys from last year. So there's no reason to say that he won't be fucking amazing and the Mavs won't be amazing. Now, I say all this to say, my Luka hate is already starting up, A few weeks ago, I think I might have said this on a podcast. He did a little interview, media day with Overtime, and they asked him where he would go to college, and he said U of A, and then a little Photoshop picture of him in a U of A jersey popped up. That was the perfect little hate appetizer for me going into this season. Of course he chose that school. He would be the perfect U of A player. Foreign fuck. The money that they're paying him can't really be tracked, so they would pay him a lot, and then they would never get in trouble for it, and then their coach who got caught with it would never get in trouble, and then it would just all be forgotten, and they'd get another good coach. So, that would have happened. He would fuck me in the ass twice a year as an ASU guy, as an ASU fan, just fucking dick us. And he would make all those fucking scrubs better that they have. They have all these role players who are just so bad at basketball and never make it anywhere, but are just fucking lights out against us. We would have been straight up helpless if he was at U of A, and it's fucking just I don't know, man. I just am getting really fucking. I'm ready. I'm ready to hate him again. Even though I loved him, even though I said the Suns should have taken him number one when no one else really did. I was standing on the table at work at ASU bro, Suns need to go get this guy. My boss was shut up. By December, this guy was you were right. It's tough. But one more thing about that U of A thing. He would have been there at the same time as Ayton, actually. Talking about that draft. He was there in the same draft class. Ayton went one and done. They would have had Luka, Alonzo Trier, Raleigh Atkins, DeAndre Ayton. They would have beaten us by 5 million. They would have, and then they would have gone on and choked in the fucking tournament. I already know it. But back to the Mavs. Kyrie Irving is really I love him, bro. I love him. He became really hated after all this team switching shit, this mental health shit. Everyone's tried to go after him. I respect the fuck out of Kyrie. I think he's perfect. I think he's a great person, a great player. He's grown into that too. I'm not saying that he wasn't a little shit stirrer a little bit at certain points in his career, wanting more shine, so leaving LeBron in Cleveland. They probably would have won more in Cleveland if he stayed. I was very disappointed. Not that I know Kyrie or anything, but just as a fan who wants the best product in the NBA, I was disappointed that he left. But he's him, and I don't think age is gonna matter. He's so skilled and can finish every which way. I'm pretty sure he could be standing on his fucking head and flick it with his foot the opposite way and just swish, nothing but net. He's insanely insane. So he'll be fine. Clay, we've talked about Clay. Gafford and Lively, fantastic 1-2 punch. Derek Lively is going to be great. PJ Washington and Maxi Kleber. Healthy Maxi Kleber is a great thing for them. I know this firsthand. He was in fucking us up, the Suns up, when they beat us by 50 in the elimination game. From the same hometown as Dirk, I believe, as well. And then PJ Washington was just such a great trade. You kind of forget they traded for him halfway through last year, and they went to the finals. Like, that was that's going to go down as a great move over the last few years. Earned them a finals appearance. Another guy who's kind of getting not as much shine, who I'm worried about as a Suns fan, but excited about as an NBA fan, Jaden Hardy, currently listed as their backup 2, but could be the backup 1 as well. Can we see a step up from him? You know, we're talking about how they lost some guys, going to need to replace a little bit of production, but also just add depth. Like, if Kyrie goes down, if Luka goes down, they need these guys to they need competent, capable guys to keep the Mavs in the running. And Jaden Hardy is so good. He was the number 2 player out of high school, right behind Chet, but in front of guys like Paolo, Imani Bates, Jabari Smith. Went to the G League Ignite route. People kind of lose some steam when they go that route. And then drafted in the second round, top of the second, at 37th overall. He could be an insane 6-man. Give some scoring off the bench. Give Kyrie and Luka a break during the middle of the game. Shot creation and shot making, like you read about, at least at lower levels. But like, if he can step up in his 3rd year, they'd be fucking awesome. And as a unbiased person, they have genuinely created the perfect team around Luka. They've created a wonderful team around Luka. I expect them to be really good, make some noise, be in the playoffs, make a run. You know, it's gonna be insane. But once again, that U of A video, like, it was like OTAs, like summer OTAs for NFL teams for me. It was like, you gotta get the brain working on this hate. You know, the season's right around the corner, and it honestly crept up so quick. This month has gone by insanely fast. But moving along here, the Pelicans finished 2nd in the division at 49-33, and we're 7th in the West. Sorry, I'm just writing down the timestamps for this episode. Added Dejounte. Fucking huge. Javonte Green as well. Daniel Thiis, who right now is their best 5. They drafted Yves Missy. I forget how you say his first name, but big man out of Baylor. Watched him in one of those tournaments, like the first game of the season that they do in college basketball last year, and he was fucking insane. Antonio Reeves they drafted, and then Carlo Matkovic. I don't know who the fuck that is, but they lost Valanciunas. That's going to hurt. Lost Larry Nance. That's going to hurt. Dyson Daniels, Najee Marshall, Cody Zeller, and E.J. Liddell. But I say all this to say that Dejounte Murray is the perfect addition to this team. A true point guard, a true dog, can go get a bucket, a savage that matches the vibes of the city of NOLA. Sorry, Derek Carr, you're not saving any murders anymore. Now that Dejounte Murray is going to be out there fucking cooking, they're going to love him. And he's going to be, he's going to have these boys competing for a top 6 spot. I think they're going to be around the play-in. They were last year, but I think they'll definitely be hovering above the play-in somewhere. I think this signing is probably one of the most effective signings in the NBA, or will prove to be. Cat to the Knicks, or just player moves, maybe not signings, but player movement. Cat to the Knicks, PG to the Sixers. You know, I think Dejounte to the Pels is like right up there with those two. And Tyus Jones to the Suns. I think Tyus Jones to the Suns is fucking insane. But like I said, I'm a Suns fan, so I'll keep down. We got Clay to the Mavs, we just talked about. DeMar to the King, CP3 to the Spurs, which will be long-term effective. But as far as effective from day one, motherfucking Dejounte Murray to the Pels. He's going to be awesome in New Orleans. They're going to be a lot of fun to watch. However, when I was doing the prep for this show, this was like last week, I think, I saw a clip of Shams talking about how The Pelicans stated that Herb Jones will be starting at the 5. So their starting 5 will be Dejounte, CJ, BI, Zion, and then Herb Jones. They're just going small ball. Obviously, that doesn't mean Herb Jones is going to guard the center. Zion will, but that is what concerns me. Like, I say they're going to be top 6. I think they'll be top 6 if they play this team correctly. You know? The small ball 5 shit might be exposed immediately. It's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. I think they're going to suck until they switch it up, and I hope they do. But Zion guarding the 5, he will be getting cooked depending on who they're playing. He hasn't proven to be this insane defender other than like a help side fucking swat your shot into the 60th row defender. Thinking about them on defense sounds just so difficult, just in general. They're going to be up in teams. I like Dejounte Murray is a fantastic defender. Herb Jones too. But and Brandon Ingram can game, but like let's say they play a team with like the Nuggets, and Brandon Ingram has to guard Aaron Gordon. Like Aaron Gordon's just got too much body and like too much, oomph on him. Maybe Brandon Ingram got fat. I don't know, but it's gonna be interesting. Like if they play an actual contender, like the Celtics, the Suns, the Nuggets, the Sixers, or like anyone with a fucking nice big man, they're gonna get cooked. Losing Valanciunas, it's gonna be tough. Daniel Thiis though will surprise you. Like he's not bad, and they're gonna have to figure out how they want to fill it in. Hopefully, Yves Missy steps up and is like insane for them, just for their case. But I just don't believe that Zion is gonna go grab like 12 boards a game and like really enforce himself in there as opposed like not scoring. Like BI as well. And CJ, like, do they have CJ plays hard, but like I think they have too many like cool guy, like bucket guys, as opposed to like a healthy mix of like hustlers. Like Herb Jones brings that to that starting lineup, but like I don't know how many times is like fucking CJ gonna pull up from 3 and then BI and Zion are just gonna be like, that's not my job. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm not saying that my teams don't do that. I saw the Suns do it plenty last year. Whenever like I see LeBron do it every game. Like when you got these guys who think they are superstars or who are superstars, the hustle doesn't come there. So if you have a few guys with a few big egos, like that team shit and that togetherness, kind of something to watch out for. Zion, can you please stay healthy? That's all I got to say about him. He's tiptoeing the line of being a bust, and it's kind of bullshit. Like he's done just enough so far to not be a bust, but if he is consistent with this current formula, not being healthy when you need to, missing a lot of games, it's just all bad news, honestly. Like, I think we need to create some sort of formula for what a bust is. Like, availability times production, like, divided by 82 games. Like, if this guy's putting up numbers over, fucking, I don't know. But we need some sort of mathematician on it. What's the guy's name? Guy who teaches at UT... Jonathan Goldblum. Not his name. I'll think of it. What else? I don't know, man. The Pels have been trying to make a rivalry with the Suns ever since that playoff series when Book got hurt and then came back and then we beat them. But we want the finals. Like, the Pels are basically little brother, so I'm rooting for them. I hope they're good. Zion did that bullshit 360 at the buzzer on us. That was some punk shit. But despite all that, they're our little brothers. So I'm gonna declare them as one of the most exciting, one of the teams I'm most excited to watch. Until they do something that pisses me off again. So, but until then, love you, little bro. The Rockets. 3rd in the division, 41-41, completely average. 11th in the West. Add Reed Shepherd, Steven Adams. Lose Boban. R.I.P. the big homie. Bust out the little violin. This is a sad moment, man. He's not in the NBA anymore. He's going to play somewhere else. Just unmatched energy, a guy that you want around and a guy that you admire and respect a lot. And so I fucking will always miss you, Boban. Come to the Suns if we needed someone. Come to the Suns, man. If Frank Kaminsky doesn't work out, we should fucking sign Boban, dead ass, as just a bruiser. Like if we're getting fucked up inside, need some rim protection. He doesn't even have to play offense, honestly. Thiis, Book, KD, and Beal got it 4-on-5 on offense. Just let Boban fucking sit down there and just swat everyone's shit. That would be awesome. The Rockets though, really just a meh team. Nothing that stands out or is gonna move and shake ya. All the trade talk about Jalen Green, you got to think, has affected their team chemistry, trust, willingness to compete for each other and be there. Van Vliet got the bag. Is he a true number one? Probably not. Sengun though is. Sengun will be. If not this year, at some point. He could become the one. Like he's baby Jokic in a way. If he takes an enormous step, the Rockets could be much, much better. They were also like one game out of the play-in, but the play-in is kind of just a made-up it's just a tool that teams can use to be like, we were almost in the playoffs, but in reality, you were like 3 spots away. So if Sengun steps up huge, then they could do it, Ime Udoka is also, he's the dumbass, but he's a great coach, and he can figure it out too. For the record, never mind. Dylan Brooks, hopefully he has another entertaining season. I hate him, but when I bet on him last year, I loved him. It changed my entire outlook on him. Like, I bet on the Rockets spread against, I forget who, and he went off. He didn't even go off. He just was doing Dylan Brooks things, like pissing off the other team. And I gotta say, when you bet on them and you're rooting for them, you are on their side of the aisle. You're like, this guy, thank you, bro, love you. When you're on the other side, piece of shit. Sometimes. It just goes to show you, man, even if you don't see eye to eye with people, put yourself on their side. Maybe you'll get along. This league, self-help and positivity podcast. I love when Donovan Mitchell shoved him also. I think that might have been a couple seasons ago. He was really pissing off, or he did some dirty shit, and Donovan Mitchell, did I say Donovan Smith? Donovan Mitchell just fucking shoved him. Gotta just stand up to the guys like that sometimes. Jabari Smith, initial reaction when you see his name is like the clock is ticking, but he's so young, doesn't matter. Amen Thompson, love him. Let's see. What else happened? Steven Adams, I don't know. Rockets are Rockets. They're going to rock it. Up next, one of the most intriguing teams in the NBA, the Grizzlies, finished 4th in the division, 27-55, 13th in the West. An abysmal fucking disaster for them last year. They set an NBA record using 33 players on their team last year. They had 51 different starting lineups, an NBA record. Ja Morant played 9 games. Desmond Bane played 42 games. Marcus Smart played 20 games. Brandon Clark played 6 games. Jaren Jackson Jr. played 62. You can't make that kind of shit up. That's like their best 5 players. Their starting lineup just missed games. So it's tough. But they're one of the more interesting teams because of that fact, right? When Ja came back from his suspension for waving the fucking Glock around. He was lit. I bet on them. He hit the game winner or some shit, huge shot, maybe something that sent it to overtime. It was insane. And then he just gets his shoulder hurt. It's tough. I think he's going to remind people that he's one of the best point guards in the league, maybe the best point guard in the league. I'll say it. He might, people are obsessed with Jalen Brunson. I love Jalen Brunson. Great player. Ja Morant might be better. Another, splash headline for them, Zach Edey is projected to start. It'll be interesting to see if he can pull the same I'm too fucking big thing that he did in college, just getting calls and da-da-da-da. He will not get the same whistle as a rookie. He might get a little bit of, if anything, the other way because he's so big, but he's looked kind of decent in the preseason, I'll be honest. And right now he's projected to be the starting five, which is crazy to me. He's fairly talented, but, also he might just be okay. He might just have been bigger than everyone. That jump from the college to the NBA is spooky for everyone and anyone, and history has proven that, so we got to pump the brakes. Is he ready to be the starting five for a top 6 team in the West? I don't know. I don't think so. Jaren Jackson Jr. needs a big year, needs to stop fucking around. He has almost that Jason Tatum effect where they're so good, so talented, but just finding a little bit of anger, Star Wars, a little bit of the dark side, balancing that and just becoming a complete dog. If he and Tatum did that, they would be fucking superstars. I mean, Tatum is, but JJJ, maybe I'm just forgetting a little bit because the Grizzlies were just so awful last year, but he has the potential to be as good as Bam Adebayo, maybe better. He's taller, just needs to stay healthy and become a bit more of a dog. But he can guard, he can dribble, he can score, he can shoot. He's a little bit of a bigger Bam Adebayo. Bam Adebayo has proven that he's a fucking dog, though. And JJJ needs to step it up. Marcus Smart, the experiment got fucked because of the injuries, but I'm excited to see what he brings, see if he still got it. He's one of those guys you forget about after a year. He's older now. You just think of him as an old guy, but he's a dog, and he might spark that dog in all these guys that I'm just talking about. I want to see them play the Pels in the playoffs. If I remember correctly, it might have been the Pels or the Wolves. I think it was actually the Wolves that was this sort of fun, marketed, young rivalry, both teams full of dogs. I would love to see all 3 of those teams play in a little triangle. Or just put all 3 of them on the court, just death match, fucking whoever comes out on top wins, those teams, all 3 of these teams are just fucking. As a hoops fan, you're oh yes, give me that shit. Anthony Edwards, Ja Morant, Julius Randle, Jaden McDaniels, Mike Conley, fucking Marcus Smart, JJJ, Desmond Bane. It's just it's gonna be fucking good. Desmond Bane, another guy I don't really like, but when you bet on him, he's cool. But as far as their roster goes, their depth, they're going to be relying on their starters a lot, but Vince Williams showed a lot of promise last year. Gigi Jackson is 12 years old and has his whole future ahead of him, and Luke Kennard is a solid contributor. Excuse me, but is that enough to make them serious? Over 48 minutes, to be determined. Lastly, the San Antonio Spurs. Last but not least, the San Antonio Spurs. Finished last in the division, 22-60, 14th in the West. Lost Devontae Graham, Dominic Barlow. Added CP3, Harrison Barnes, Stephon Castle, Harrison Ingram, who won't have an impact now, but I loved him at UNC. CP3 and Barnes are the exact thing this team needed. Are they going to compete for a title right now? No. But some veteran presence to help out Wemby and these young guys and set them up for the future. CP3 is going to turn Wemby into fucking Megamind. He's already an alien. Just give him a fucking all that CP3 point god knowledge of the game, ball knower CP3, just inject it into Wemby's brain and let him walk around with like an enormous dome and fuck up the league. Potential for that to happen. CP3 is going to help Trey Jones too, though. Talk about a signing. Like I said it earlier, immediate impact player moves. Dejounte Murray, Cat, PG, Paul George. Big impact signing that will have effects in the future. CP3. Long term, this might be the best signing long term, not because he's going to play long term, but because he's going to help these young guys long term ever. And honestly, I could see CP3 fucking around and just being like, hey, sign me as the 15th guy. Let me just like keep being the OG to these guys and go get him a ring. If that's how CP3 gets his ring, I would be proud of him. I would be genuinely proud of him. Sorry. Fixing this. Stephon Castle. Maybe the steal of the draft. I don't know if you can actually say steal of the draft because they took him 4th, but at least an overlooked prospect a little bit. He might have been perfectly drafted, though, now that I think about it. Like, 4th just feels right. He's going to be awesome. Awesome. Cannot wait to watch him develop. Him alongside Devin Vassell as their wings next to Wemby. Spooky season. That's why the Suns got to win them now. Now these championships are really important now because the league's going to get crazy. Harrison Barnes in the same breath as CP3. Barnes is going to help Castle. Devin Vassell, Stephon Castle, Jeremy Sochan, and then Champagne as well. What's that guy's first name again? Julian Champagne. That's my first name. Forgot my own first name. Pop and the Spurs did the right thing signing him here. And he looks natural in that jersey. I forget what I saw, some preseason clip. I think Pop was like pushing some guy, just fucking around. And Harrison Barnes was just in the background with the white Spurs jersey. Clean, bro. Clean. As far as the winning games, they won't be as bad as last year, 22 games. Their win total on DraftKings actually jumped up to 36.5. That's a pretty big jump. If Vegas thinks they're like 15 games better, then you can expect them to win 14 or 15 games, probably because they're fucking really good at that shit. And, will they make the play-in? It's going to be tough. Can't fully say yes yet, but they will make a jump. And also Wemby, I expect a big leap. It's pretty obvious. He's going to be awesome. He's going to take a big leap, and he's going to go from like a little baby Bambi, like a little fawn, to like a young adult buck. He got his legs under him. He's grown a little bit. He's not a fawn anymore. He's like a young buck. He's a young buck. And fucking alien freak also. Megamind potential. But this has been the Southwest Division preview. My name's JD. This is This League. Thank you. And I will see you on the next episode. Peace.